There's been multiple times where I've gotten to the end of the day and I felt extremely busy all day, but then when I actually went through what I needed to get done, I didn't feel like I actually accomplished anything. None of my to-dos were checked off and I hadn't moved any tasks forward. I'm sure that's a feeling that many of y'all can relate to, where you feel busy but not necessarily productive. And through a lot of trial and error, I've learned that sometimes it's not always about doing more work or simply being more productive. Sometimes the fastest way to get your time back is to stop doing the things that are quietly wasting it. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Tyler Warlow, and I make videos on self-improvement tips that I wish someone had taught me when I was younger. All these videos center around how to improve your life through your confidence, capabilities, and overall happiness. So in today's video, I'm going to cover 5 different things that you can stop doing to start getting your time back. If that sounds interesting to you, let's go ahead and jump into the video. Coming in at number 1 is probably going to be the most obvious one, but you've got to get off of social media, or at least find a way to limit it. I can't tell you the number of countless times that I've told myself that I'm going to get on for all of 5 minutes, and I found myself scrolling an hour or 2 later. And this is all because social media is designed to capture your attention. There's some really good documentaries out there that cover how social media companies have designed their apps to capture your attention and constantly bring you back into the app. I don't want to make it seem like social media is all bad. Social media can be a great thing for you to learn new things, connect with other people, and find new interests. However, it's when you are using it without intention that it can become a problem. This is how people commonly catch themselves doom scrolling, wasting hours at a time on their phone. I've personally done 2 different things that have helped me. First, if I could delete the app from my phone, I did it, and I tried to make it so I could only access the social media from my desktop. Now, unfortunately, there are a few apps that get around this, such as YouTube when you are logged onto Chrome on your phone. The way that I've personally tried to counteract this is by installing app blockers on my phone. The app blocker can allow you to either block an app entirely or block specific websites. And I've personally found it to find one that's kind of confusing to disable, so it gives you a little bit more of a barrier to prevent you from simply turning it off. This has personally helped me get a lot of time back, taking my time on my phone from like 4 hours a day down to only about 1.5 to 2, depending on what I need to do for the day. And that's going to help us segue pretty easily into the next tip, and that's going to be to stop keeping your phone within arm's reach at all times. I know that that might sound crazy. I mean, we're on our phones all the time for various things, such as communicating with our friends and family, as well as in some cases doing our work. However, there's been a lot of evidence to show that when we have our phones even on the desk in front of us, even if it's face down, that we tend to be a lot more distracted during our work and we have a hard time getting into a focused state. Again, this kind of comes back to the point that I was talking about with the social media companies, where apps design themselves in a way to try and capture your attention. They'll ping you with notifications if they feel like you've been gone too long to try and get you to come back into the app for various reasons. And it goes beyond things like social media too. This is how text messaging and email apps work as well, constantly giving you new notifications and having you kind of build the habit of checking your phone constantly. Because when we get that notification, especially if it is something that's pertinent to us, it gives us a hit of dopamine, and it builds a somewhat addictive behavior. We almost do it automatically. For me personally, the thing that has helped me the most with counteracting the phone distraction is by creating some sort of physical barrier between me and the phone. Whether that's putting it in a different room or while I'm at work, just putting it in my book bag. This creates enough of a barrier where I have to actually have intention to go and get the phone that it prevents me from constantly checking it. Now, the next thing that you need to stop doing is stop saying yes to everything. This goes for multiple different things: work, social life, and personal time. When it comes to work, you need to try and somewhat stay within the scope of your responsibilities. Don't get me wrong, if you're trying to pursue a promotion or you're trying to help your teammates out, it's always a good thing to try and do a little bit of extra work in those cases. However, if you're constantly taking on additional workload and responsibilities to the point where it's impacting your primary responsibilities, you need to be careful about that, because then your time is getting spread way too thin through many different things, and it's going to make it difficult for you to really get any of them done. When it comes to your friends or your personal time, you've got to stop saying yes to every single event. I know that you might have fear of missing out, FOMO, or you might just simply want to see everyone. But have you ever gotten home from some of those events and just found yourself so tired or socially burnt out? That's your sign that you're saying yes to too many things. If the events that you're going to are not recharging you and giving you energy, then they're likely not a good use of your time. Why would you waste your time going to things that make you feel worse, and then when you get back and you had other things to do, you no longer have the energy to do them? Try to protect your time, try to protect your energy, and really just say yes to the events that you are really going to get some enjoyment out of. This is going to help recharge you and give you more energy to do your other work as well. The next thing that I want you to stop doing is stop just zoning out. And what I mean by this is stop doing activities where you just kind of disappear and you don't really use any mental brain power. This is really common when you're doom scrolling through social media or binge watching a TV show. I know that I've personally caught myself a few times where I've been on social media for hours, and by the time that I get off, I just feel irritable and frustrated and angry at nothing in particular. I can't really remember if there was something on it that made me upset, but I just feel frustrated. But generally speaking, the reason that you feel like that is because you're constantly giving yourself some dopamine hits when you're watching or doing things that you like, but don't really require a lot of brain power. And the thing about dopamine in the body is that there is a pleasure-pain cycle. So if you give yourself a lot of dopamine, your body kind of has to counteract that a little bit by pulling back and making you feel a little bit of discomfort by not giving you any dopamine. It's got to replenish its stores. And that's where that feeling of irritability and exhaustion can come from, is you are recovering from just constantly giving your body dopamine. So something that we think is relaxing is actually leaving us mentally exhausted and physically drained. So what you should rather aim to do is things that are actually restorative to you, whether that is going and doing some exercise or doing an activity or hobby that you really enjoy. I personally found when I replaced the doom scrolling and binge watching TV with activities that I actually enjoyed doing, like reading, running, and weightlifting, that I actually felt much better the next day overall. You obviously don't have to give up doing this stuff entirely, it's just be a little bit mindful of how much you're doing it. And finally, I want you to stop starting your day without a plan. I can't tell you the number of times that I've gone into work without having any real idea of what I was going to start working on. And as a result, I end up kind of spending a lot of time on tasks that don't really do anything for my job. That's like checking email, responding to various little messages here and there, and next thing I know, an hour has gone by. And this is usually on the days that I come in and I haven't established any sort of plan or have any idea of what it is that I'm going to work on the next day. Essentially, because I don't have a plan, I'm kind of aimless. And unfortunately, your work will expand to fill up the time that you have. If you don't have a good idea of how you're going to use your time towards the work that you need to get done, the more useless tasks are gonna just kind of naturally end up taking you more time because you don't necessarily feel the need to get them done quickly. But if I take 5 minutes at the end of the night or at the beginning of the day to just kind of set a to-do list and a list of priorities of what needs to get done, this helps me to get on track much faster and start actually getting some work done. Now, these 5 habits might seem small, but stopping them helped me to improve how I manage my time and energy. Do you personally struggle with any of these? If so, let me know with a comment down below. I like to read and respond to all of them. If you found this video to be helpful or informative at all, Please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to join me along in this self-improvement journey. If you're interested in more videos like this one where I talk about goal setting and productivity, be sure to check out this video right here where I talk about how to stay motivated. If you're more interested in my most recent stuff, be sure to check out this video right here. But until the next time, this is Tyler Warlow, signing off.